Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to go for some questions that have come up in TCS NQT, that is National Qualified Test, as organized by TCS every year for upcoming aspiring engineers so that they can have a smooth way into their careers. Okay, so the best part about TCS NQT paper is the paper is in sections. So there are 5 sections for TCS NQT paper, namely programming ability, where you have to answer questions on an MCQ basis on topics like oops, data structure, or there is Java, JavaScript. Accordingly, they'll ask you questions based on your theory knowledge of the topics. Next, they'll give you a portion of pseudo course where they'll give you a choice of language and you can choose according to out of the given languages, whichever you are comfortable with, you have to write a code in that particular language, followed by a section for verbal ability where written English is checked as to how good you are with your English language. Questions from reading comprehension, antonyms, synonyms, vocabulary, fill in the blanks, different tenses, they will be asked. There will be the next section for logical ability. They'll be asking you questions like based on data arrangements, blood relations, syllogisms, Venn diagrams, all those things are going to come up. Next thing, what they're going to ask you is a aptitude portion. So the thing with aptitude is there will be a lot of questions based on geometry, time, speed, and distance, time and work, probability, permutations, combinations, then pipes, cisterns, all those things. A lot of them are going to come up. And a lot of them have actually come up. Today's objective is to deal with the questions that have come up in set C of TCS NQT paper, because the paper that they have given out, it was done in sets. So there were 3 different sets, set A, B, and C, and we're going to see the questions that had come up in set C of that particular paper. Okay. Talking about the difficulty level, it was a moderate level difficult paper. So there were not much difficult questions. So, and most of the questions were easy. Some questions were on moderate level. So, all in all, the analysis of the paper says it was a moderate level paper. Not very difficult, not very easy. Logics involved, that was obviously a foremost part. Okay, first question that had come up. Let's begin with the questions. First question. So two sides of a plot, 32 meters and 24 meters, and an angle between them is a perfect right angle. Important point. Other two sides are 25 meters and 25 meters. Other three angles are not right angles. Okay. If the plot is convex, what is the area of the plot? Okay. Convex means it is going to be a closed figure. Convex makes it clear that it is going to be a closed figure. Okay, let's look at these sides. Two sides are given to me as 32 and 24. Okay, already given to me. Now, 32 and 24 angle between them is already a right angle given to me. Next two sides are 25 and 25 and it is not a right angle. So I'm going to draw it in a way that it does not seem to be a right angle. Let's mark the points A, B, C, D, and E. None of the angle other than A is a right angle. Okay, now they're asking me the area of the plot. So for finding the area of the plot, I need to have some dimensions. Two sides are given to me. This is 25. This is also 25. Okay, nice. Now, I can find the area of triangle ABD. I can find the area of triangle CBD. And if I add both of them areas, I can have the area of the plot. So basically what I need to do is I need to find the area of ABD plus area of CBD. When I do that, I can have the area of the whole plot. This is what the approach is going to be. Okay, now for a matter of fact, 32, 24, when these are two sides of a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is 40. 32, 24, and 40, these are Pythagorean triplets. So if two sides of the triangle are 32 and 40, the next side will be 32 and 24. If it is, next side would be 40. Now, 25 and 25 are equal. That means if I draw a perpendicular from C to BD, let it cut at point E. If this is the perpendicular that is drawn, it is going to be a perpendicular bisector. So BE is going to be equal to ED, both of them are going to be equal to 20 meters. Both of them are going to be equal. They would be 20 and 20. Okay, now this is 20. This is also 20. I have drawn a perpendicular bisector. That means this angle E is going to be 90 degree. Now, 20, 25. Let's talk about the triangle BEC. Triangle BEC, if I talk about 25 square, 625 is equals to BE square plus C square. BE square is 400 plus C square is, let's say, x square. This side, let it be x. Okay, so x square comes out to be 225. Value of x or CE comes out to be 15. So this common side comes out to be 15 meters. Okay, all the values are there to me. For me to find the area of triangle ABD and triangle CBD, all the values now I have. Let's find the area. So area of triangle ABD, half into base 24 into height 32. On solving this, area of triangle ABD comes out to be 384. Okay, now need to find the area of the bigger triangle. The area of the triangle BCD becomes half into base is 40 into height is 15. When we solve this, comes out to be 300. Okay, now my total area is area of triangle BCD 300 plus area of triangle ABD, that is 384. When you do this sum, my total area comes out to be 684 meters square. That is, my area of the plot is 684 meters square. Basic geometry, just knowledge of Pythagorean triplets and a little geometry involved with respect to drawing the convex plot and taking the perpendicular bisector, you have the answer. Next question. An ant smartly moves across a staircase, taking the shortest distance. Calculate the distance it takes to reach the top of 2B from A, given that the staircase consists of two steps. It is also given that the length, breadth, and height is 6, 2, and 1 centimeter respectively. Okay, now shortest way between, let's say there are 2 points A and B, and there is an intermediate point C. I have to go from A to B. But one path I took A to C, C to B. One path I took A to B. So the shortest distance between any 2 points is actually the distance along the diagonal. Rather than going from A to C and C to B, because these are following some right angles, if I directly go along the perpendicular part, or what I call as the diagonal, if there is some other part, let's say this is D, that is going to be the shortest distance. So the perpendicular distance, the shortest route is going to be along the diagonal. This has to be very clear. Okay, now let's see the steps. If it is steps, 6 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, again 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 6, 6 and 6. Okay, this is how the step is going to be. Now, important thing here is ant is moving from point A to this point B. So it is going to go along the diagonal. Now if I convert this 3D into a 2D figure, my length becomes my base, and first 2 centimeter, then 1 centimeter, then again 2 centimeter, then again 1 centimeter. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 becomes 6 centimeter. This becomes my length of the other side. So actually, if I convert this 3D figure into a 2D figure, it becomes a square whose side is 6 and 6. Now, reaching from one point to the other, I need to reach from this point to the other side. Shortest distance is obviously going to be along the diagonal. Length of the diagonal, 6 square plus 6 square, because this is a right angle. My answer comes out to be 6 root 2 centimeter. meter. My answer is option A, 6 root 2 centimeter. Okay, now next question. If f of x is ax plus b and f of x is 8x plus 21, find the value of a plus b. Very easy question. Just we have to follow the rules of geometry as they go. Okay, so f of x. Okay, so f of x. This is what we have to find out. So first step, a of ax plus b plus b plus b. So three b's. F of x is ax. So first f of x. Now this is again the x for ax plus b. Again ax plus b. Again this whole thing becomes the x for ax plus b. Okay, now let's solve this one by one. So this becomes a into a square x plus ab plus b plus b. Again a cube x plus a square b plus ab plus b. This is all equal to 8x plus 21. All equal to 8x plus 21. Now, one thing that we can clearly see from here is there is only one variable that can be compared and other is the constant part. So I can directly compare a cube x to 8x and a square b plus ab plus b could be directly compared to 21 because all of this thing is equal to 8x plus 21. Directly comparing a cube x equals to 8x, x goes out, a's value comes out to be 2. Putting the value of a equals to 2 here, so this becomes 4b plus 2b plus b equals to 21. Value of b comes out to be 3. So a is 2, b equals to 3. Find the value of a plus b comes out to be 5. My answer is option C. It is 5. Next question. There's a conical tent in which 10 people can stand. Each person needs 10 meters square to stand and 6 meter cube air to breathe. Okay, what is the height of the tent? Okay, now total area occupied by 10 people. Area that is going to be occupied by 10 people, it is going to be, if one person needs 10 meters square, 10 people will need 10 into 10, that is equals to 100 meters square of area, and this is going to be the base area of cone, because obviously if a person is standing, he'll be standing on the base. This is going to be the base area of the cone. Now next thing, the total volume of air within the conical tent. Total volume of air, if we talk about, one person needs 60 meter cube, 10 people will need 60 into 10, 600 meter cube. Okay, now volume of air, that is 600 meter cube. This is going to be the volume of your conical tent. This is going to be the volume of your conical tent. First thing what I found out, that is the area of the cone, base area of the cone. Next, volume of air is going to be the volume of conical tent. Now from the formula for volume of the cone, I know volume is equals to 1 by 3 into base area into height. This is the volume formula for a cone. Volume is equals to 1 by 3 into base area into height. We actually write it as 1 by 3 pi r square h, out of which pi r square is your base area. I directly have a base area, so I can use the formula 1 by 3 into base area into height. Height I need to find out. Volume I have, volume is 600 is equals to 1 by 3. Base area is 100. Height is h. My height comes out to be directly 18 meters. Height of my cone, height of my tent directly comes out to be 18 meters. Okay, next. In a circle chord, CD is of 8 centimeter length. Okay, let's draw the circle. Let's see what they're talking about. Okay, so first let's draw the circle. Center O. Okay, there is a chord of length 8 centimeter. That means the chord is which is of 8 centimeter, is obviously closer to the center because other chord is a smaller one, as we can see. So AB is of 6 centimeter and CD is of 8 centimeter. Okay. And they are 1 centimeter apart. 1 centimeter means the distance between them, perpendicular distance between them, it's 1 centimeter. What is diameter of this circle? Okay, we need the diameter. Fine. So if I draw OA and I draw OC, both of them are going to be the radius. And this I'm again drawing. Let's take this area. I'm marking some more points. AB is 6, CD is 8. X we have marked. X is, if I take this point as E, OE is equals to X. Okay. EF is equals to 1, distance between the two chords. Okay. OA is equals to OC is equals to R. OE is equals to X. EF is equals to 1 centimeter. All of these are mentioned according to the question and some assumptions that we did, that is marked clearly. Okay, now applying Pythagoras theorem. Let's apply some Pythagoras theorems. First thing, R square is equals to, if I talk about one circle and some more things that we can take up here. Okay, chord of a circle is 6 centimeter. The line that will go on from the center to the chords, it is going to be the perpendicular bisector. So CD was given to me as 8, AB was 6. So this is going to be 4 and 4, 3 and 3. Okay, now talking about one triangle at a time. So r square is equals to x square plus 4 square. R square becomes x square plus 16. Okay, now next. R square is equals to x plus 1 the whole square plus 3 square. If this was for the upper triangle, triangle OCE. If I apply for triangle OAF, R square is equals to x plus 1 because this whole OF is going to be x plus 1 is equals to x plus 1 whole square plus r square. So r square is equals to x square plus 2x plus 1 plus 9 is 10. Okay, so all these values we have written. Next thing that we can do it, instead of r square from the first equation that we had, r square is equals to x square plus 16, let's put the value. So x square plus 16 is equals to x square plus 2x plus 10. X square goes out, 10 goes to the other side, value of x comes out to be 3. So value of x now comes out to be 3 centimeters. So this portion in between is also 3 centimeters. Let's put the value somewhere. R square is equals to, putting the value of x equals to 3 in first equation. R square is equals to 3 square. 3 square is 9. 9 plus 16, 25. Value of R comes out to be 5 centimeter. So radius of the circle is now 5 centimeter. Diameter is 2R. Diameter comes out to be 10 centimeter. Basic geometry involved, using Pythagoras theorem twice and having the answer. Next question. Find the next number of the series given to us. Series is 70, 54, 45, 41. First approach is always to check the difference between the numbers. Okay, now 70 minus 54, difference is 16. 16 is 4 square. 54 minus 45, difference is 9. 45 minus 41, difference is 4. This is 3 square. This is 2 square. Why am I writing it in terms of squares? Because other than that, 16, 9 and 4, if I try to correlate, there is going to be no other relation between them. Okay, now I can see it is 4 square, 3 square, 2 square. Other difference should have been 1 square. 1 square is 1. So whatever number was here, difference of that number and 41 has to be 1. So this becomes 41 minus 1. My next term of the series comes out to be directly 40. Next term of the series comes out to be 40. My answer is option C. Okay, next question. A tank contains 114 liters of spirit. On the first day, 60 liters of spirit is taken out and replaced by 60 liters of water. Okay, now on the second day, again 60 liters of mixture is taken out and replaced by water, and the process continues day by day. What will be the quantity of spirit in the day after the tank? Okay, so I'm going to go by the formula. There is a very important formula, that quantity of spirit on the third day, it is equals to initial quantity into 1 minus replacement quantity divided by initial quantity raised to power of iterations, that is raised to power of repetitions. So what we have is initial quantity of spirit was 144 liters into 1 minus replaced quantity. What is the replaced quantity? 60 divided by initial quantity was 144 whole cube. So when I will do this, when I will solve out all of this, my answer comes out to be 28.58 liter. This is a very important formula, that quantity on the third day is initial quantity into 1 minus replacement quantity divided by initial quantity raised to the power of iterations. So when we do this, my answer comes out to be, what is going to be the quantity remaining after the third day? My answer is 28.58, option B. Saves all the time. We will do the proportions. We will have to subtract every time, saving all the time using the formula is very simple. Next question. Two pipes A and B. One is bigger, other is smaller. Both together can fill the tank in 3 minutes 45 seconds. A bigger pipe can fill the tank 4 minutes faster than the smaller pipe. In what time will the smaller pipe fill the tank? Okay. So time taken by A and X together given to us is 3 and 3/4 minute. Okay. This is the time that is given to them. Converting it, it becomes 15 by 4 minutes. Okay. Now, next thing. X is the smaller pipe. So I'm taking X to be the smaller pipe and A to be the bigger pipe. Let's take X to be the smaller type and A to be the bigger type. Time taken by capital X, let it be small x. Let the time it take be small x. So time taken by A alone becomes small x minus 4, because it is mentioned if the bigger pipe can fill the tank 4 minutes faster than the smaller one. So this becomes x minus 4, and that too in minutes. Okay. Now, total capacity of the tank, if I need to find out what is the capacity of the tank. So capacity is going to be LCM of 15 and 4. That is 60 liters. Okay. Efficiency of A and X together, it's 60 divided by 15 by 4, comes out to be 16 liters per minute. Okay. Now, efficiency of capital X comes out to be 60 divided by small x. Efficiency is basically how much work they are doing per unit time. Capacity I have written as the LCM of 15 and 4, or 15 by 4 and 4 by 1. If I find out the capacity, it is going to be the LCM. So basically what it means is how much work they have to do, that is the capacity. Okay, so capacity of A and X together, capacity of X also. Now capacity of A, or let's talk about the efficiency of A. It comes out to be 60 divided by X minus 4, because A alone is filling it in X minus 4. Into 60 minus x, because x is already filled by that. So when we will do this, it comes out to be into 60 divided by x minus 4. So when we will solve all of this, because now I have x minus 4 here alone. Together they're taking 15 by 4 minutes. So basically a plus x is 15 by 4. Okay, putting a here, putting x here. When we will do that, when we will solve out all of that, we will get the value of small x to be equal to 10 minutes. So time taken by small pipe alone, it's 10 minutes. Okay, now next question. There is a certain number of teams. Each team will play with other teams. If 45 matches are held, how many teams are there? Okay, so logically, let's try to solve this. Let's let's try to solve that in a logical way. So there are a certain number of teams, and each team will play with every other team. So let's take for example that there are 10 teams. We can go with respect to the options itself. Let's go with respect to the options. Let's consider that there are 10 teams. Okay, so if there are 10 teams, so first team is going to play with 9 other teams. Second team has already played with the first team, so he's not going to play with the first team. He's going to begin from the third team. So he is going to play with 8 other teams. Now third team, he is going to play with 7 others. In that way, when we'll go on, the last team, the ninth team, is just going to play with one other team. So total, if we see, and if I know to know how many matches are held, I will add up all of these, and it is going to be 9 matches, 8 match plus 7 match plus 6 match plus 5 plus 4, 3, 2 and 1. It will come out to be 45 exactly. Okay, that is, every team is going to play with every other team. If first team is playing with 9 other teams, that means there are going to be 9 other matches that will be organized. Second team is playing with 8 other teams, that means there are going to be 8 matches that would be organized. Third team playing with 7 others, that means 7 matches are going to be organized. That way the ninth team would play with just one other team. That means only one match is going to be organized. Total number of matches organized, 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 goes on, it becomes 45 exactly. So actually what we assumed with the first option, that there are 10 teams, it is correct, and my answer is 10 teams only. Or what we can do is we can go by the other method. Let's say that there are n teams that participated. So number of matches, like we did for the example, if there are two teams, it will play with just one other team. So there will be just one match. So if there are n teams, it is going to play with next n minus 1. It is going to play with n minus 1 teams. That means there will be n minus 1 matches. So if we go on adding all of that, if there are n teams, number of matches, it is going to be sum of first n minus 1 terms. It is going to be sum of first n minus 1 terms, and it is going to be equal to 45. So 45 is equals to n into n minus 1 by 2. On solving this, becomes a quadratic. N square minus n is equals to 90. N square minus n minus 90 is equals to 0. Value of n comes out to be minus 9 or 10. Negative is not accepted. My n value comes out to be directly 10. Both the ways we can do it, either going with respect to options and assuming that every team is playing with every other team, or going with the method of assuming a variable, we would get the same answer. Next question. The average temperature on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's 440 degree. Okay, average temperature, and I know average is actually sum of the quantities divided by number of terms. It's 440. So I can get Tuesday plus Wednesday plus Thursday. The sum of the temperature, it was 101,320 actually. First equation. Next, average temperature on Wednesday plus Thursday plus Friday, it's 466. So I can have the sum Wednesday plus Thursday plus Friday becomes 1398. Second equation. Next, I have on Friday the temperature was directly given to me. Value of Friday is 439. Is Friday is directly given to me. Okay, so what was the temperature on Tuesday? First equation, second equation, third equation. Some values are directly given to me. Using all of these three equations, equation number 1, 2, and 3, I can have the value of what was the temperature on Tuesday. When we will solve out all of this, put Wednesday plus Thursday plus 439 is equals to 1398. Have the value of Wednesday from plus Thursday from here. Put the value in the first equation. On doing all of that, my temperature on Tuesday comes out to be 361 degree Celsius. So when you will do all of that, when you will do the equations, answer comes out to be option A, 361 degree Celsius.